Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a get it all done with me. I just had lots of jobs that were bugging me that I needed to do today, and I thought I would bring you along with me so you can see me cook, clean and all sorts. And I also have another discount code for you from HelloFresh, so if you want to see more then keep watching. So I spent the morning working, and then I nipped out to the shops to get a few bits that we needed just to stock up with. So you can see me here doing a little restock of everything. I've got coffee pods, I've got cereal, I'm topping up our rice and also like our arborio rice for risottos. That's my favourite one. And I'm just stocking everything up and tidying up again. I got home from the school run and basically just cracked on with work and kind of left the house in a state, and I didn't really think too much of it, so I just wanted to do a little refresh before I did anything else. Then our HelloFresh order arrived, and you can see me having a nosy. I'll often pick my recipes and then I'll forget what I've ordered, so it's always quite a nice surprise to see what I've chosen. So this is the one I'm going to make today, which is a lamb and mushroom rigatoni, really quick one. And I was really pleased to see that there was a little summer foodie magazine, because you know I love a foodie magazine by now. They're fab. And if you never had a box before, you can also get some little vouchers to pass on to friends so they can try a free box, but I would really recommend it. But more on that later. I'll show you what I'm cooking for dinner when it's dinner time, but for now I'm doing a little bit more food prep. So I had a watermelon and I wanted to cut it up and actually make sure we used it. I like to put them in Tupperware containers like this because it's easy to do for packed lunches or for snacks for the kids. Then I cleared up from earlier on that morning because I just left it and everywhere was a bit of a mess. And then I finally decided to tackle the job that has been bugging me the most, and it is our shoe collection. And this isn't even all of it, but with 5 of us, there's a lot of shoes going on, and this is how we store the kids' shoes because they grab and go very easily. But this box was full of leaves and mud and dirt, and then behind the shoe rack was disgusting. I'm actually a bit ashamed to show this because I didn't realise how bad it had gotten. So I hoovered all of that up with the attachment and then the main hoover head and gave it a quick mop as well because it was so dusty and so gross. And then once that was done, I was able to clean the shoe rack because that was covered in dust and dirt as well. I am not pleased with myself, but hopefully it will stay nice and tidy at least for a little bit. I put our shoes back on the main rack and then carried on cleaning up around the house from the rest of the day really. I'd left the ironing board out from ironing my dress early this morning, so I popped that away before I tripped over it again because that kept happening. And then I really annoyed myself. So we had this little craft caddy and I'd gone in the cupboard for something else and left it out on the side, but I hadn't put it down properly, and then it just fell all over the floor into this washing basket below. But I took this as a sign that we needed to sort this out because it had gotten really mismatched and there's always bits and bobs that don't belong in there. I found this on Amazon if I remember rightly, and we've had it for a few years now, but I have to say, even though it does need a clean through sometimes, it's a really great way of organising all your craft bits for the kids. I added in a few extra bits as well, like pens and felt tips that we had that weren't in there properly yet, and then that was another job done. And I quickly stuck a wash load on because when am I not doing washing, let's be honest, and then gave everywhere in the utility a quick wipe down too while I was in there, just because it needed it. It gets very dusty. I then repotted my spider plants because they had both outgrown their homes and I wanted to give them space to continue thriving. I'm really into my gardening now, but I keep forgetting and neglecting my house plants now, so I really need to get back on top of that again. I cleaned up after myself and also used Barkeeper's Friend, the power cream, to clean out our sink. It was then at this point that I dashed out to pick the kids up from school, and then I tried to push myself on. I find between about 3 and 6 p.m. is when I start to flag. I just get really tired. It can be a really busy time of my day once I've picked the kids up, and so they generally just want to sit down and chill. So I'm pushing myself on and I'm cracking on with some tin tuna that needed using up with some sweet corn and some mayo and mixing that all through. And then I'm going to put that in a Tupperware container and we can use it again throughout the week. And I just find that doing this is a lot cheaper than buying an individual tub, and I get a lot more for my money as well. So once I've done that, I've decided to crack on with actually putting the packed lunches together. So everyone's having something a little bit different here. Stan's having a cheese spread and salami wrap. He's not a big tuna fan, but Bill and Daisy are. So then I'm adding in some cucumber sticks and adding in a bit of kitchen roll to make sure that they don't make the wraps all soggy. We've got some watermelon, chocolate buttons, a yogurt and some crisps, and then I'm just repeating the process. So Bill and Daisy have the tuna mayo and they pretty much have the same things. Then once that was done, the washing machine beeped to say it was finished, and because the weather wasn't too bad on this day, I got it out on the line. I love getting stuff on the line. I don't think it will ever get old for me, no matter how old I get. I just find it so satisfying, and I know it'll be dry in about an hour or two, which is great because hopefully I can put it away later on or maybe the next morning. But I have a little sock area that I hang all the underwear on, and then I have a standalone area that all the little bits go on, and then the line is for all the big bits like towels and stuff. Then I finally cracked on with our dinner. So this is a HelloFresh recipe, as you already know from earlier, and it is a lamb and mushroom rigatoni. Now my children do think that mushrooms are a bit like slugs, but I still try and expose them to things all the time, just because I think it's a really good way to encourage trying things again to see if your tastes have changed. This was a 20-minute like rapid meal, which is something I love about HelloFresh, because if I am flagging and feeling tired, I can kind of just go on autopilot with it, and the little touches like the mushrooms already being sliced and stuff just made it so easy to do. And it was like a comforting, healthy, really tasty meal. And actually, while the kids did pick the mushrooms out, Mark and I really enjoyed it, and the kids did enjoy the rest of it. But you know, you win some, you lose some, and I just like experimenting. We get the box for a family of 4, which as it stands at the moment, with the younger 2 still being quite young, does us just fine. In fact, sometimes we might even have leftovers, but sometimes we also get a box just for me and Mark. So if we've got a busy week with kids clubs, it can be a nice way for us to treat ourselves as well, and just get a box for 2 and eat once the kids are sorted out in bed. And then after dinner, Mark cleaned up and then took the dog for a walk, and then I cracked on with doing the last few jobs. I'm hoovering here because I find I need to do it every other day at least, really, just with the pets and the kids, and I like a tidy home. And then I decided to use this little blind cleaner that I'd got. I found this at B&M and it's actually really effective. The amount of grime that came off my blinds was shameful, to be honest. Then I dusted all of the surfaces, and I'm really getting in there, just making sure that I lift everything up as well. And then I went on to all of our glass surfaces or windows, and this is kind of what I do every Thursday, but on this day I'm just tackling downstairs because I am getting really tired, and I'm the same upstairs for the day after. And then the final job was to hoover out the other shoe basket we have at the back of the house, which is where I tend to put like school shoes or outdoor shoes for the garden. I hoovered up all the dust and bits that were around there as well, and then popped that back in its place. And then I continued with hoovering the rest of the downstairs. So that would be the kitchen and the utility as well. And I just find this so satisfying when all the bits are off the floor and I can put like the rugs back down again and wind the hoover away. Then I finished off with the final few jobs. So I laid sun cream out for the next day, just so we've got it to hand and we're not in a rush. And I also like to lay out their school bags and sun hats and shoes as well. Then finally, as I like to do at the end of a clean, I stuck a wax melt on because it's like a little treat at the end of a clean and an organisation, and it smells so good. This one is just so sweet and pretty to smell. I love that brand. And then I got these discounted flowers earlier on that I'd left soaking in water in the sink, so I decided to pop these in a little vase and take them through, and that is what I got done. Thank you so much for watching.